Hi, social media managers. Welcome back to the channel. If you're a social media manager or thinking of becoming one, I know one big question you will be having is how much should I charge my clients? I mean, it's like every time we're asking for clients, and when we finally get those clients, and when they ask you, how much do you charge? You're going, it depends. It depends. It depends on what? Today, we're going to be looking at the factors in which you should consider when setting your pricing as a social media manager. These factors are going to help you clear out confusions, help you stop undercharging, and avoid those exposure talks. In our last video, I taught you how you can get clients even if you're a newbie. If you've not seen that video, hit on the link to go check out that video. So now let's get right into it. The first factor we are going to be looking at is time. Time is one of the key factors that you should consider when setting your price. Now, how does this work? You want to look at how much time will it take me to solve this problem for this client. I mean, if it's going to take you 5 hours to do a certain job, you want to consider what you are worth for that time. Is there something else you can do within that 5 hours that will give you a certain amount of money? Then you want to quantify, okay, let me consider my time and how much it's going to take out my 24 hours to solve this problem. So time is an important factor that you want to consider. The second thing is your value. Now, value is where they go, what do you bring to the table? Now, a lot of social media managers, may decide to put their prices based on how much results they can bring to the table, in the sense of some clients may want followers, some clients may want sales, some clients, so depending on that's why most times you also want to consider your pricing based on industries. So let's take an example. If somebody comes to me now and they're like, oh, can you help me get XYZ views on my post? And I know that's like vague, right? But let's just use that as an example. So the person comes, oh, I want to get, okay, let me use leads. I want to get 100 contacts for my events. I know what it's going to take me to get that person 100 contacts. And then somebody comes, oh, Becky, I'm trying to sell this 1 billion naira or 1 billion or $100 million apartment. Please sell it for me. I know what that is also going to take. So depending on the value I'm giving to the clients, I'm also going to weigh that. I know that these real estate people got some good money, right? So that value in which I am giving, I'm actually going to put a price to it. So it is abstract. That's why I'm going to say there is no manual, there is no straight way, there is no one strategy as to how you should set your prices, because it's not a product. It's based on these factors. The next thing is experience. When we look at experience and we look at value, let me tell you something. Experience is based on how long you've been doing this thing. How much do you know? But trust me, guys, I've swept that under the carpet, because you can be 1 year in the job and be better than somebody that's been there for 10 years. Trust me. Yes, that's how it is. So sometimes you don't want to reduce your price because you are an intern or because you are 2 years in the game. You want to actually really put your price based on the solutions that you are providing to that client, which is the value. So another thing you should really do consider is your experience. And experience can be based on your skills, it can be based on education, it can be based on the works that you've done. How many clients have you worked with? How experienced are you, with the services and the skills of you being a social media manager? And you also want to consider you being a newbie. There are really some things you've not done. So you don't want to be AY with your pricing and chase clients away. You want to actually cut your coat and relax, gather them first. Because everybody's looking at what have you done. If you've not done nothing, I don't think I want to bet and put my money on you, because it is an investment for me or for any business owner that is going to be hiring you. So you need to actually put something on the table. The next thing you want to consider, which nobody really talks about, is location. This is important, guys. Your location, where you live, where you're based, because the cost of living also matters. If you are based in Nigeria, pricing you're going to be setting for yourself is different from the person staying in Dubai. It's different from the person staying in UK. It's different from the person staying in the Philippines. So your location matters. You want to look at the cost of living in your in your environment, you want to look at your rent, you want to look at your feeding, you want to look at your cost of data. Guys, data is expensive, right? Your location matters. If I'm staying in a country where I'm paying a lot of bills, you won't expect me to come and accept $1,000. But because you are hiring me and you're in a country where you're paying lesser, doesn't mean it doesn't favor me. So every of that thing, I need to consider me first. So you consider yourself first when you're setting your price. Lastly, your tools. Now, what is your tools? Your tools are those apps that you use. I know there's always basic and, free versions, but if you want to get the best of any app, any tool, pay for the pro. Did you hear me? Pay for the pro. You need to add the price of your tools, your Canva, CapCut, Notion, Asana, whatever you use with your clients as a social media manager, you need to put the prices together. So those are like some factors that you need to consider. And this doesn't end here. And let me tell you guys, girl to girl, girl to boy, if your expenses is literally eating up your income, you don't have no savings or investment somewhere, you are walking backwards, you are hustling backwards, and you need to stop that before the end of this year. Let's look at prices structures. Now we've looked at the factors to consider. How then do you structure your price in a way that you can tell your clients, this is how I want to get paid, and you get paid? Let's get right into that. In this segment, we're going to be talking about the 3 ways in which you should price your services. We've spoken about the factors in which you should consider before setting your prices. Now, how should you receive payment? 1, we have hourly. Now, this is very common with forms where you get jobs, platforms like Fiverr, platforms like Upwork, platforms like Freelancer, because they want you to pay them hourly. But I do not recommend this because, man, what can you do in an hour? And it's more like either they are cheating you or you're cheating yourself. I really do not recommend this one if you're based in Nigeria, but if you live outside the country, it's easier. People will be happy to pay you that $15 per hour because $30 per hour, $15 per hour, $50 per hour, depending on what you're doing. And hourly money, you spend it fast. Why not collect in bulk? Second we have on the list, which is one of my personal faves, is packages. Now, this is where you put together bundles of your different services, you put a price to it, and then you give to the clients. That's where you see people do basic, standard, premium. Even top brands use packages. So why do you want to use hourly? That's where you see the silver, the gold, and the bronze. A lot of people play with different taglines. Some people are so creative with it, and they just put together. That's where you can tell clients, oh, I'm gonna make you 2 videos, 5 posts, 1 reel, and then I'm charging you XYZ amount. This way, when you even charge a lot of money, the client is seeing so many things that you have to deliver to them. And one trick, don't leave anything behind. Use the best grammars. If you have to write caption, write it there. That's 5 caption writing, this and that. Anything that you have to do, include it in that package so that they see how lengthy it is and the services that you're running for them. They have clear understanding of what you are delivering. You also have clear understanding of what you're getting. And lastly, this is more like the 9 to 5 areas, or where you get to work with maybe agencies or companies who pay you. It can either be remote or you can it can be on site, and that's where you have them pay you monthly. Now, most of the time, there's really no amount of deliverables that you get to give to the clients or give to the company. It's always based on, you just have to keep going. But sometimes you always want to read your contracts and be sure that whatever that they are offering to you also is also something that your capacity can take, right? So these are things that you want to consider when setting your price. Now, I hope you understand the 3 ways in which you can set your structures. But I know you're still going to say, but Becky, all this we know. How do we still put the price? Yes, I know. We're going to get to that part. This part, I need you to grab your pen, your paper, because we'll be doing some calculus. Trust me. We're going to be looking down. We're going to be breaking it down. And I'm going to be explaining how I've been able to set my own prices when I was a social media manager. I'm going to be sharing that same formula with you so that it's going to help you set your definite price. And even when you need to increase your rate, you're quick to, increase your rate. Let's get into it.
Now we are going to be going to the mathematical side of things. I want you to bring out your pen and paper and listen attentively. When setting your pricing as a social media manager, the most important thing is your expenses, because you want to be able to pay bills and still have something for your savings and something for yourself. So what are your expenses? Those things that you spend money on. You can decide to do this yearly or monthly. I actually like to do yearly because my monthly is not stable. So let's say, for example, one of the expenses that you'll be having are the tools that you use: Canva, your scheduling apps, your video editing apps, whatever that you're paying for that is related to your work. Your income has to be able to cover that. So first off, you need to calculate your tools, whatever you are paying for that helps you. If music is one of the things that helps you, and then you know that you're always paying for iTunes, you want to be sure that you are writing that down, because this is business and you don't want money floating around and you're spending money anyhow based on how they come. Now, the next thing you want to look at is your internet expenses. This is a job that requires you buying a lot of data. Some of you don't pay attention to the amount that you spend on data because you can just buy 1.5 and then you don't know that you're doing that 1.5 every day. But to you, because it's just 1.5, you're not calculating to see maybe there is a better router that you can use that can even save you more money. You want to actually sit down and ask yourself, when I buy this data, how long does it last? How many times am I buying data? And in a month, how much is that? So you want to write that down and calculate. I know a lot of us don't pay taxes. Some of you don't pay taxes because maybe your businesses are not registered. If you are living alone, you want to look at your rent because that is expensive. So if your rent is $2,000 a year, you want to divide it by 12 to know how much a month that is. You are seeing that the bills is piling up, Abi. The next thing that you want to look at again is if you are hiring anybody, if you are paying anybody that is helping you do things. For me, I pay salary. So I'm writing that down, and I'm also making sure that we are not going beyond a certain amount so that we are not overpaying staff. Another thing again is you want to also look at your food, because that is very, very important. How much are you spending on food? You as a person, if you're working 9 to 5, obviously your company will be paying for all these tools. You'll be using free Wi-Fi and they'll still be paying you salary. So how much do you want to pay yourself? For me, I have a certain amount that I know that if any 9 to 5 come, and I really will not do any 9 to 5, but there's a kind of amount that 9 to 5 will come in. If they can beat what I earn monthly, then I'm in for it. So based on that, how much do you think you want to pay yourself? If you're working for somebody right now, how much will you charge them monthly? So you want to pay yourself. Yes, pay yourself. And remember that the money you are paying yourself is actually money. That's your money for your miscellaneous. Some of you take money for paying yourself, then you now take your miscellaneous money. You now take money for surprising myself. You now take money for self-care separate, No, they all are supposed to come from the money that you pay yourself, because you are the individual. You're the one enjoying those things. If you're working 9 to 5, where else will the money come from? The money will only come from your salary. I'm guilty of this too. There's sometimes that I'll tell myself that remove my next month's salary. I'll tell myself that I remove my next month's salary because moving forward, now the most important part. This part is very, very important. You now want to also look at you as a person in a month, as a freelancer or whatever that you do. Outside of how much you want to pay yourself in a month, how much do you want the business? Remember, I said this is a business. How much do you want the business to make in a month? And you need to be realistic. Don't just start today and you're expecting, I want to make 10 million. Where will you come from? So you have to be very realistic. Before, in your head, this month I want to make $1,000. In order for me to make $1,000, look at the expenses you have in your mind that you want to make $1,000, right? All these expenses that we've calculated, let's say $500. That means you need to make $1,500 for that month. How then can you make $1,500? But you still have yourself to pay. Okay, let's calculate that you paying yourself is also in the $500, right? So now you have $1,500 to make. How then do you want to make it? You want to divide that by, I don't advise that you charge hourly. I advise that you charge either per service or monthly, right? Weekly is also fair. So you want to now calculate it by, all right, I need to make $1,500. How many clients do I have to work with? Based on your strength, how many clients can you handle? I can handle, let's say, 4 clients or 3 clients because I don't want to overwork myself. So 3 divided by 1.5, that's how much? That's $500 each. That means you need to look for a way that each of those clients will pay you either $500 each, or one of them will pay you above the other. And it's always good to have more clients. So it gives you a direct understanding of your goal, how much you are to make and how much you are to set for your pricing. If you are open to other means in which income can flow in, either from templates, one-off jobs, quick calendars, you will calculate how many people. If you are doing calendars for $10, in order for you to make $1,000, can you say that you need to work with 500 people? That's a lot. So you may want to say, okay, for calendar, let's do 50 people. For another service, so you need to be able to find services in which you can balance for you to be able to make more money.
Welcome back. I hope that video was helpful. Now I want to see you start setting your price right. No more confusions, no more undercharging, and no more exposure excuses. Right. Okay, guys, I'm so glad that I was able to make this video for you. Please do not forget to share this video. Do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to drop your comments, because in the next video, I'm going to be showing you how you can cross-sell and upsell your services so you can make so much money. Now, there's so much that I have for you guys in here on my YouTube. But guys, you people need to fill me in with the numbers, because if I'm not going to see the numbers, I'm not making these videos. All right? So I can't wait to see you in the next video. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and